This SummerSlam card almost came out of nowhere. It actually is a very solid card. I'm even thinking it might be more solid than WrestleMania. But let's start right away with the predictions for SummerSlam Night 1, beginning with the match that probably will open Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. Obafemi, Brock Lesnar 3, Hell in a Cell. I say it'll probably open. I'm not sure. I mean, they're not doing the ESPN first hour on the network anymore, but I think this is actually probably the second biggest match of the card. And I think it really should have main evented night 1. But that would involve what the night 2 main event was being the night 1 opener. But anyway, I'll get into that later. But this is definitely a highly anticipated match. Now, the logic, especially if it involves Brock Lesnar, who, I mean, he might not be retiring after SummerSlam, but he is in the sort of the twilight of his WWE in-ring career. He's already sort of retired once. It's hinting that obviously Oba is going to win the trilogy, just like Cody won the trilogy. Brock won the second match in that one, won the second match in this one too. But then they're good at this. They're throwing some other things in there, like the fact that this is in Brock's hometown, even though he lives in Saskatchewan now. He's from Minnesota, and SummerSlam's in Minneapolis. Also, Brock's never lost in Hell in a Cell, as Paul Heyman will remind us constantly. He's the ruler of the Brocktagon, which he called it. The setup for this has been, I mean, it's been decent. It's been like not as great as the setup for WrestleMania, I think, but it's been more solid than their setup for their second match. But I think I'm sure. I think those are just distractions and well-played distractions. I think this is going to be a really good match. It's probably going to be one of their longest matches. I'm predicting Obafemi is going to dominate Brock, and I even think Brock might pick up the microphone this time and retire for real in his hometown and get an ovation. But I predict Obafemi is going to win. We have a 6-man tag match, members of the Bloodline, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, and Jacob Fatu versus the real allies of convenience, Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, and Royce Keys. I predict the babyfaces are going to win. I should probably go into detail as to who I think the babyfaces are in this match. Well, yeah, they're really coding the Bloodline, or these Bloodline members, as heels, but Jey Uso still gets the babyface pop because he's Jey Uso, but I'm pretty sure they're the heels. And yes, that LA Knight's a babyface, Royce Keys is a babyface, but yes, in this match, Solo Sikoa is a snarky, smarmy, sarcastic babyface. I like, they hadn't come out with, usually wears the red suits. He came out with like the white or beige suit. I'm partially colorblind, I know, on Raw. Been really funny in the intro, and I think they're making Solo has been likable for about a year now, but now they got him out of the sort of Go Nowhere MFTs faction, which was big at first, but then it became Go Nowhere because it was like a Team New Bloodline. They got him doing his own thing. It's like I got tickets, Solo. The time he came in, like I bought a ticket. Like he's funny, he's entertaining, and he's working with LA Knight. I mean, yeah, they're gonna probably play on something like with him rejoining the Bloodline, but no, I think Solo's gonna get the pin, probably on Jay, maybe something big, or maybe Jacob or something like that. And maybe they're gonna set up with Solo versus Roman, but this time the crowd behind Solo. But I predict that Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, and Royce Keys are going to have the victory at SummerSlam. Next, in a 6-women tag team match, we have Fatal Influence, JC Jane, Lainey Reed, and Fallon Henley versus the Bellas, Brie Bella, and the returning Nikki Bella, and Paige. Now, like I said, the baby faces are going to win the last one. I think the heels are going to win, and I think JC Jane's going to get a pin. But I think the heels are going to win because I think the Bellas are going to turn on Paige, and that's maybe going to cause a feud between the Bellas and Paige. Whether that happens or not, I think that JC Jane, after losing the qualifying match, she's at least still on SummerSlam in this match, and I think this is a way to make Fatal Influence a really driving heel force. They already got the women's tag titles, and JC Jane, I think, is going to have a singles title at some point. So I'm predicting the heels win, the JC Jane gets the pin, but I'm predicting Fatal Influence win the 6-women tag match at SummerSlam. Next up, the ring general, the career killer, Gunther versus former and potential future SmackDown general manager, Nick Aldis. I'm looking forward to this one. I mean, Nick Aldis, okay, he's probably one of the younger competitors on the SummerSlam card, but you don't realize it because he always wears suits. He's always, he's seen as one of the admins or one of the managers, which he is. But he was a wrestler. I think he just wanted to work for WWE, from what I understand, and they offered him a backstage producer role. So he's like, sure. And then they offered him an on-screen authority figure role. He said, sure. He did really well at it, and he's always made it clear that anytime they want him to wrestle, he will. And everyone was talking about a match between him and Adam Pearce, but Adam Pearce is a former wrestler who's been retired for like 20 years. All this is ready to go, and against Gunther, I think this is going to be really good. I think all this is going to impress everyone. Now, I think this might be all this is one and only match in the ring in WWE for the time being. He might come back, but you know what? I think all this is going to be impressive, but I think they got to get Gunther his heel streak back after retiring Cena, retiring AJ Styles. They're going to make him back the career killer. I think all this is going back into management at this, but I think he's going to put on a respectable fight, but I think Gunther is going to win. That's my prediction. Then for the Women's World Championship, the champion Liv Morgan defends against Io Sky. Now, barring the interference of Danhausen, I think Liv is going to retain. Now, this was not an easy one to pick. In fact, I'd love it if Io Sky won a championship again. Logically, she's beaten Liv. Liv's beaten her, though, and she should win. I mean, I think there's going to be interference, and that's why Io's not going to win. But looking at it in terms of like the Judgment Day storyline, Raquel now has the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Dom is still the AAA Mega Champion. And what they could have is they could have Liv lose this title. And with Raquel holding that title, that could cause some jealousy within the ranks of Judgment Day. But I think they're not going that route. I think they're going to go with the Judgment Day being really dominant, holding all the belts. Maybe Roxanne's going to try and get a tag belt, or Roxanne might be the one who's like, how come I don't have a championship? I don't know. But she's like the JD McDonough of the women in Judgment Day. I don't know. But I think they're going to go with the Judgment Day dominance, Judgment Day interference. And unless Danhausen specifically gets involved in or before this specific match, not his own match, I think it's going to be a really good match. I think it's going to be better than their last match. I think it's going to be really hard hitting. I think I think Liv tells people to go rough on her. So I think Io's going to be rough. It's going to be very violent. Somebody might get a bloody nose or something like that in this match, or I don't know. But I predict Liv Morgan is going to walk into and walk out of SummerSlam as the WWE Women's Champion and hopefully defend it before the next major PLE, at least a few times. And in the night one main event for the undisputed WWE Championship, the champion CM Punk defends against challenger and former champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Okay, there's a lot. First of all, I've said in videos before that I really was hoping this was going to be a fatal four-way or at least a triple threat involving Sami Zayn. My whole thing was I was totally cool with Punk walking out of SummerSlam as the champion. I just hope Sami, the match on Raw there had been a disqualification because Gunther interfered, fatal four-way, and even Punk pinned Sami at this match, but Sami would have had at least one successful title defense, maybe another one, and would have held the title for longer than 9 days. But okay, that put aside, I do think this is the match of the PLE of both nights. This should be the night 2 main event. Hey, maybe if it was a fatal four-way, it would have qualified for the night 2 main event. Just saying, but this should be the night 2 main event. I had hoped that Oba and Brock would be the night 1 main event. Roman and Seth, I'm not as hot on that match, but whatever. That's night 2. This is the night 1 main event. This is probably the real main event of SummerSlam. It's been a match years in the making, but like really rushed in the last minute animosity. But I guess you have to show all the previous promos that led up to it. They probably will do that in the package to make things more hype. I'm not sure if Cody's going to turn heel or not. He might. But I'm predicting that CM Punk retains and probably goes on to a feud against Sami Zayn. He might pass the title back and forth. We'll have the Summer of Punk for a bit, but then I think maybe near the end of the summer, Zayn might win, or maybe Punk will win that, and then he'll win money. Punk will win that, but Sami will win Money in the Bank. That's what I'm predicting after, but I'm right here at SummerSlam. I'm predicting it's going to be a hell of a match. It's going to be the real main event of SummerSlam. I don't think there's going to be interference, and I think CM Punk is walking into and walking out of SummerSlam undisputed WWE champion. And if you couldn't tell by how I was talking about some of these matches, it's clear to me that night one of SummerSlam is the night. It's the significantly more stacked card. It's overall the one I'm looking the most forward to. So those are my predictions for night one of SummerSlam 2026. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have your own predictions? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications for all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, wrestling opinion pieces, assorted thoughts on Raw and SmackDown, and WWE Premium Live Event reviews and prediction videos. I'll be back with my predictions for Night 2 of SummerSlam 2026. Until then, for Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.